So Lalit, can you explain to us what department are we right now in? And how does it function?
We are into the receiving and delivery department.
Okay.
Here we get the jewelry from all the jewelers for hallmarking. And here we have to receive the jewelry, checking the weight and other aspects, whether he is a BIS licensee or not.
Okay.
And other norms which is following for the BIS or not. And after that we receive the jewelry, we pack it and we send it to the XRF department for further checking.
So some challenges you were talking about, I remember that sometimes the jewelry which comes and the weight differs, by some water element being there. So can you explain to?
There are various kind of jewelry like Mangal Sutras or antique items where sometimes the artisan directly brings the jewelry to the receiving department. And when we receive the jewelry, the weight is suppose 100 grams.
Right.
And when we process it and everything happens, and when it is ready for delivery, it shows 300-400 milligrams less. Then what we do is, we tell the vendors on priority, you have to dry the, put a blower on the and then send it to us.
Blow dry.
Blow dry. Okay. So what happens, the water inside, it gets evaporated.
Okay.
So same kind of this antique piece also, they put some wax color on it.
Achha.
So we tell them that there can be a loss after the whole process because a lot of hands are handling it. So these are the precautions we have to take, and we train our staff accordingly. So what not to do, what to do, do's and don'ts basically.
So the rigorous training is required. Also, I think it mostly functions on mutual trust and atmosphere of faith and all that with the entire team.
This is there. Because the whole jewelry business is on trust basically.
Correct. Right.
And second and third, most important, there are many other different kind of jewelry which are very delicate. And the finishing part is so good, we have to handle it with care. So we have to put special instruction on the box itself that handle with care. Because while processing, they have to put some gloves on and they have to work with it.
Okay.
So these are the few things in the receiving and delivery we have to take care of.
Good. So let us move to the other section.
This is an XRF department.
Okay.
It's non-destructive testing where we know the approximate purity, whether it is 22 carat or 21 carat, we come to know.
Achha.
So we checked it on the machine and this is how we check it. I'll show it to you. You doing it? The testing part is on. After 30 seconds, the results will come. See, the results has come. 58. That means it is above 916, 22 carat. And what we do, in this, if we find some lower purity, coming around 912, 913, we go it for further sampling. That means we take that cut sample and we do the destructive part of testing. This is the sampling department.
Okay.
After XRF, the jewelry is brought into the sampling department. Here the sampler, he takes out the samples which are low in purity, and we have to take the samples according to the sampling plans which BIS has given to us. And after taking out the sample, he takes out some scrap by cutting, drilling or scrapping. And after that, the sample has been melted like this. After melting, the piece is like this.
Achha. What is this?
This is, he melts it with this thing, lighter on this. And I'll show it to you.
Oh.
He melts it like this on this thing. He melts it like this, and after melting, he puts into the borax powder, borax, and this is acid. So it gets clean. And after that, he hammers it on the hammer and anvil to make it flat, and then it goes for further process, that is the destructive method.
Okay, so now we are coming to a different section. I don't know how many sections are there total. So what is this section all about?
This is the assaying department, what we call is the fire assay department.
Okay.
And this department is the backbone for the hallmarking thing. Because whatever things we do assaying and whatever purity we get, if it passes, that means it is finally passed. In the non-destructive part, it gives an approximate value. But this is accurate, and this procedure is recognized worldwide.
So which have been practiced in the forefathers' days, right?
Right. So this is the main part. and for this we require a technical team which is expertise in this thing.
Okay.
Because this is handling of the acid, dealing with the furnace and all. Because we are working at a temperature of in the furnace at around 1150.
Oh my god. Okay. So special skills are required.
Yeah, special skill is required.
Okay.
And we have to take safety precautions and all regarding everything.
Okay.
And we have taken license for MPCB, Maharashtra Pollution Control Board also. And we are developed a scrubber where the acidic things get alkaline, we put alkaline solution so it gets neutralized.
Okay. Wait, what is this?
This is asbestos gloves because we are working in the furnace for at a temperature of 1150.
Acha.
So while putting the sample inside and all,
Oh.
so we have to wear this so it protects the hands.
What is this machine?
This is a micro balance.
Mm-hmm.
That once we get the samples from the sampling department, the samples are 100 milli or 200 milligram samples. We have to cut into two parts and we have to weigh it on the micro balance. So that much accuracy is needed. We weigh the sample and after that we put 2.5 times silver inside in this lead sheet. What we make it is a round and we put it gold, silver is there and we wrap it and we make a ball with the plier like this. See this ball. This has been made.
Can you show?
A small ball, this round ball is there. Then we put this ball into the furnace, what we have shown.
Acha. Okay.
This is cupels, which what we put in the furnace, and this is made of magnesia. And in this, we keep the lead balls at a temperature of 1150 because gold melts at around 1080 degrees.
This is this procedure? Yeah.
We cut into two parts and we weigh
Wait, yeah.
two different parts.
Yeah.
Then
Then
the whole
there's
procedure,
the whole procedure of putting it into the furnace and all that
all
stuff.
stuff. Then we put into the acid.
Acid.
Then what in the acid what happens? The silver inside it becomes silver nitrate because nitric acid is there. So silver
nitrate.
silver nitrate is there. The copper inside it evaporates because the high melting point to nikal jata hai. So what remains is the pure gold.
Acha.
And we weigh the pure gold. The difference in the weight, well, the calculation is there, and we take out the pure. It's a reference method basically.
Okay, Lalit, so now where are we and what is happening all over here?
This is a marking department where we do the hallmarking part of it. This is the last, you can say the second last part. After that, the QC is done and the delivery is done. So this is the hallmarking part. And this we do the hallmark. Hallmarking is basically what we have to look at is first is the BIS logo. This is a triangle logo.
Okay.
I'll show you. See, this is a triangle logo. This has to be there, this logo. Then comes the purity logo. Purity and the carat. 91622K, 18K750 and 14K8585. So these are the 3 carats which have been given by the government that should be hallmark. No other caratage can be hallmark because what happens, other caratage, if we do 20 carats or 21 carats, the jeweler says that it is hallmark. So what the customer assumes it's a 22 carat.
Right.
And he gets 20 carat gold. So they were discontinued. They were there, but they were discontinued. Now only 3 caratages are there: 22, 18, and 14. After that, that is the center logo. Center logo is this one, M of Mahavir. Then the 4th one is the license jewelers logo. There are various logos what the jewelers gives to us on a written documented card that you have to mark this. So accordingly we have to mark that logo. So while taking out the samples, random samples are also been picked up by the government for checking whether your work is being done properly or not. So they take out random samples from the market and they test it at the independent laboratory. And if it fails, we get notice from the government, the audit has been done again and all, and the procedure goes on. So what action we have taken after that, preventive action, corrective action, and then the file closes, and then the license has been revoked. So means presumption of marking has been done. So this is the thing been carried out.
So after this, the last section is left out. No?
That is a delivery.
Achha.
QC and delivery.
So this is basically technically last one.
हाँ, technically. बाकी है?
Hello friends, I am with Mr. Lalit Jain. He is my friend, he is my student, and he is into hallmarking business. So can you tell the viewers what is the meaning of hallmarking business?
Hallmarking is basically certification of gold purity. Means ultimately what the consumer is buying, the gold from a jeweler, whether that gold is pure or impure or adulterated. Suppose a jeweler is selling 916 22 karat gold, whether it is 22 karat or 21 karat, we certify it. If it is 22 karat, we certify it, we hallmark it. Basically, it is the content of gold in gold articles.
Okay. So I believe that, I remember you speaking to me. By the way, he was also my Reiki student. He's done Reiki through me 22 years back. And since then, he's been in touch with me also. We are good friends. So I remember, around 20 years back, approximately, some plus or minus, you got some revolutionary thing in this industry. And this is how you started, correct? So can you tell our viewers, because I want them to inspire that if you really decide something, you can do it.
Sure. Because if you have some vision in your mind, that what you want, basically, and if you're confident about it, first you should understand the subject properly. First you should know what you want in your life, basically.
Correct.
And after that, you should have a good grasp of the subject. And then you plan something and execute it properly. That is what it seems.
Correct.
That you can make your dream come true.
Correct.
This is what happened in 20 years back. I had visited an exhibition in Cup Parade World Trade Center. And before that, I was into small jewelry business, but I was not satisfied with it. So there was a jewelry show at World Trade Center in Cup Parade, and I visited that, and I saw a machine, an XRF machine, a non-destructive method to test the purity of gold without damaging the article. So I thought that it will work because there was no one in this field who had bought this machine. So I bought it from a vendor and he sold it to me. But the service part was not over there because he also imported from Germany. So I bought the machine, I installed it. For 3-4 months, it was a challenging time, struggling time, because people used to say n number of things, that it shows only the skin, surface part, it is not accurate, this is everything. Because what happens, the jeweler basically gets exposed with all such things.
Yeah, so they were very insecure about it.
They were insecure. So they used to say all negative things about it. But ultimately, if you are positive, you are confident, the things will work sooner or later. So after 4 months, it started, and by slowly it got picked up, and people got sure that it shows the approximate part, means 20-30 points plus and minus. Suppose it is 21.7, it can be 22 carat also or 22.3 carat also.
Okay.
It was like that.
So the error factor was very less.
Very less. So we challenged one of the jeweler also, that you tested by destructive part also, destructive method also, and by non-destructive also. And the difference was only 0.3%. So he was now satisfied that this will work. And ultimately things got in the right direction.
So basically what I want to tell you is, that if you have a goal, if you have a clear vision of something which you want to manifest in your life, and if you have that confidence, and if you give it proper energy, universe will deliver it to you. That is what has happened in your case. Right?
Sure.
So Lalit, I want to know, during the pandemic, in fact it's still going on, but what I mean to say is during the lockdown. When I say pandemic, I mean the lockdown, So those particular months, what exactly you did, and how did you reach out to the society, in what way? Because everybody has contributed in some way to the society. So I want to know your part.
During lockdown, basically, means first few days were like that, okay, what to do, what not to do.
Everybody
was in the panic mode, basically.
Right. Because you couldn't understand
what's happening.
Right.
Then we came to know that the lockdown is going to get extended and also, and we used to see policemen working around the clock. And they were basically fully tired and all. So we used to make foods, packets for them, and we used to distribute them in the night, and plus we used to distribute packets to our staff also, to the persons who were working, the artisans working over here, because they also wanted to go to their villages and all, but there was no support system going on over here. So we used to distribute packets and everything, and food packets, and this is going to help. And secondly, we used to meet people in our society, our building, whom we didn't meet for so many years. because we used to go in the morning to the office.
Okay,
evening,
right.
So we used to meet them. We had a good acquaintance.
Hmm.
We used to have dinner or lunch sometime at their
So there was a bonding.
There was a bonding basically.
So evidently this pandemic has taught so many things,
many
brought
things.
people together also. Okay, so it's a very good thing which you have done, you helped the police personals with all this food packets and all that, because I think they did a incredible job during that time, because they had to control the crowd, even everything was new for them also. Plus even they were standing the risk of, catching the virus and all that.
Right.
And also, I really specially thank the female police persons, because, there were not much facilities also, washroom facilities and all that, but still they managed somehow. Really salute to all of them. Okay, now after the lockdown has opened up, things have started moving. How's your industry doing now? How, especially you?
Because when we opened up, we started our work in the month of June. Starting 2-3 months was like that. We thought that it will be a struggling time. We were working with approximately 10% of the staff or 15% max to max. And we thought this was enough. We didn't want much staff as such because it was a struggling time. But after 2 or 3 months, the industry revived in such a manner that it bounced back. And I can say that we are approximately now 70 to 80% of the last year's turnover.
Oh, amazing, Dennis. So this is a message to all the negative thinkers, because what is happening is, a lot of negativity is being spread. Dhanda nahi chal raha hai, ye nahi hai, economy is down, whatever else is going on. So if you see, there's a book called, Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. In that he has said, whatever the economy may be, whatever the environment may be, if you are programmed to succeed, if you are programmed to earn money, you are going to earn money. Money is going to flow. So this is a living example right now, what he's talking about. So I'm especially saying this thing so you get this inspiration. Great. So any message you want to give to the viewers? Any message?
Whatever work you do, you should be confident about it. And you should have a good grasp of the subject basically. And the management part of it. That should be proper.
Right. So basically, you have a
Goal.
And then you have a faith.
Faith.
Whatever you want to say, faith in the divine or faith in the universe or faith in yourself.
Faith.
That is going to happen, and it happens. That is what.
That is what.
So basically, you're talking metaphysics right now, This is amazing. If any of the viewers or any of the businessmen want to contact you for some reason, then how can they reach out to you?
They can go to my website and at my website, Mahavir Hallmarking Center Private Limited.
Can you spell it out?
Mahavir, MAHAVIR, HALLMARKING CENTRE Center Private Limited. So they can go to my website and they can get all the contact details, everything, and they can reach out.
Okay. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, it is Rafique Pirani, RAFIQUE.PIRANI.co.in. Also, the other blog is www.multiverse.co.in. The spelling of multiverse is MULTIVERRS. Okay, so that's how we can reach. Take care.
Take care.
Be safe.